I'm StaceyJ. Welcome here today. Fate has brought you here to know what fabric from the vault I will sew. Hang out and you will see just what the garment will be.
Hi, I'm StaceyJ and this is my studio, and I'd like to say welcome back or welcome to anybody that is new. I have finally finished my final piece of my season 1 of Fabric Wheel of Fate. Fabric Wheel of Fate was started by Carol, who decided there was some fabrics that she wasn't gravitating towards when she was making an outfit or anything, that she decided to put them on a wheel and to spin the wheel and basically let fate pick her fabric, and she had to use them. Now, it's not that I don't gravitate towards these particular fabrics that have been on my Wheel of Fate this season. I got so much fabric that I forget what I've had. God, my vault's full. The fullness of the vault is real. Okay, so I am up to the last fabric. I would like to go over the fabrics. The first fabric I got to spin was this crazy colored fabric here, which I made a drop waist skirt, which I love, and I wore it the other day. Love it. The second fabric I spun and got was this, as it's being called out to me by Steph, red, white and blue. That's Steph in America, not Stephen Nelson. Red, white and blue fabrics, which made me giggle because you kind of say it like that, you just think red, white and blue. You know, as opposed to going blue, it's got blue and red and white in it. It like breaks the whole red, white and blue. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. The third was, the third one is like coriander. Okay, you either love it or you hate it. But I think I turned a few heads and made it a lovely fabric, made a lovely dress out of this. I made the Armadale dress. Sorry, I actually made, what top did I make out of this? I made a Stylark top. I'm going to write it because I keep forgetting that top name. And yes, and I made the Armadale dress out of that one, and I loved it. So my last and final fabric I got to spin for is this one. This one. What did I make? What did I make, you ask? So one of the things I have, except for the first fabric, this particular one, I am trying to make something that I have not made before. Okay, so I don't want to make 50 of the same things because I don't want to be that boring. So I've gone out and I've made sure I've picked up a pattern that I have not used before. And I haven't bought a new pattern either to fulfill my fate. I have actually gone through. Now, I only had 2 meters of this fabric at 120 wide, so it was going to be quite the head scratcher. So what I did was I sat down and I'll show you what I did. When I sat down, I went through these boxes. Now these are, that was Willow yawning. These are what my patterns, my big 4 patterns are in. Okay, and there's another row there. So I've got 3 of these pigeonhole things. So this side, the other side, the opposite side, and just down the end here has got. So I've got 27 of these things stacked, packed, full of patterns. I don't know if you can see inside there, but it's crammed full of big 4 patterns. Those are the ones that have been filed. I won't show you the ones that haven't, that are around the corner. Oh, I didn't go through those. When I finally spun this fabric, because I love a floral, I like a floral, I wanted something that I just feel it's very vintage looking. So I went through all my tops, some of my separate boxes, and I did find this pattern. which I was stoked about, because that was the, if you watch my Friday sews, you will see that this one here was one of the ones that I have made, lost the pattern because I made it ages ago, and accidentally made a hole in it because I used a bitty bid remover and it munched my fabric. I hate it when it does that. So I wanted something vintagey. Wasn't sure what, so I went through everything and I came across a pattern, and it's something I wouldn't normally wear. Because I have a big bust, I tend to not wear frilly stuff around my neck, and you know, which sort of is a highlight kind of thing on a person. If something is flamboyant in one area, it's where your eye gravitates towards. Now, I have no problem with being big busted. I have been big busted for, yeah, 80% of my life. So it's not like it's something new. So my mum told me one time when I was way younger, when I woke up all of a sudden and the kids at school were calling me Dolly Parton, primary school. And she said, if you got them, flaunt them. So I've always been quite accepted of my bust. Makes my butt look small. It is small, but it makes it look smaller. Anyway, so I don't tend to do things that will gravitate and draw towards my bust. So it's a talking place to look at anyway, 90% of the time when you're talking to a guy, so, you know. Anyway, enough of that. I just found a pin and some fabric I had in my fabric bin. Right, so I came across the bee blouse. That is it. There's the line drawings. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on. Now, I do have, it's going to take away a bit. I'll just put them on for it. Okay, so a chic new workwear staple with the bee blouse. A timeless vintage inspired style with a shift silhouette, feminine bow, neckline detail, and 2 sleeve lengths. I picked the longer sleeve. Right, I'm going to put some photos here of me, of the blouse on my Queenie Manny there. All right. It's so weird when it's reflected like that. Okay, so this bee blouse came in the Simply Sewing book magazine. And I decided that was such a vintage pattern that I had to make it with this fabric. I just feel the fabric looks vintagey. I don't know why I'm holding that up. I'm kind of wearing it at the same time, so duh. Okay, so the sizes are 6 to 20, which is a European 34 to 48, or a US 4 to 18. I picked the longer sleeve, the elbow length sleeve, and I have a bow fastening. Okay, now it took me a little longer to make because I decided that I had to do the alterations for my client in her wedding dress, which will be worn this Saturday. Shani came in a couple of weeks ago. Oh, not even a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, she was in at Easter and Easter Friday, Saturday, one of those days. I worked all of them. And I needed to, actually, I do know which pattern she had, so I'll throw the picture of the dress that she bought online. And yeah, so I saved her. She actually loved it. She put it on today and she was just so happy. Got a big hug, so always got to love it when a client gives me a hug. So anyway, back to the bee blouse. So it has the bow-like neckline. Now that is not me. I'm not a bow-like neckline kind of gal, but something inside me, something's got a hold on me, said this is the one you're going to make. Now I did think about making it longer, like adding an inch to it, but I like how it falls right on the hip bone, and a lot of the things I normally tuck in because it is quite long, and with a big bust, things can hang straight down from the bust, and it kind of makes you look boxy. So I decided to take advantage of my hips being small. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at blouse. It made it look longer. It's not longer. So I decided to keep it at that length. I did hum and ha, and I had enough to probably drop the pattern down, but I might not have. Yeah, I probably would have got extra length out of those. So let me stand back for a sec and show you it on me right now. Okay, falls there nicely. Today I've got on my Noah pants. Again, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do. They're quite roomy. I think it has something to do with the stretch denim, but I just like how it sits. It's kind of, yeah. And I love the way it looks. I'll do my model walk thing that I've been doing. You guys seem to get a kick out of that. And I think it's the only way I really can show you guys how I do it. Or how it looks. Excuse me. Sorry. Not how I do it. Okay. So what did I do to change this? Now I picked, what size did I pick? It should be written on my pattern piece. My button blouse. Gosh, it's not written on my pattern piece. That would just be... See, when I trace things out, I always put the size on it. I'm looking for one that's got the size written on it. I might put it in a bag and put the size on the actual thing. I've retraced out that. There we go. The size 16. So I cut out a size 16. Now the size 16 has a bust, to fit a bust of 99 centimeters. My bust is 100 and no, my bust is not 100. It's 98.5. Yep. Do not know that in inches. I am sorry. Smaller number. I should just get to know inches because it's actually a smaller number, eh? Yeah. So I cut out a size 16, but of course I like to do it in FBA. Now the size 16 finished garment measurements is 103. So although there is 4 centimeters of ease, it's meant to be a tighter fitting garment. I still added to it. I added 4 centimeters extra in the bust to make sure that I had room for the girls to breathe. I don't think their finished garment size is reals. I think it's lies. So if I'm going to do it again, I would possibly make my full bust size bigger. I only added 2 centimeters to each side. I'd probably add 4 just to give me room for the girls, because I prefer it to be looser around my bust. One other thing I don't like about it is it has arm dart to the bust. I do not like those, but I left it in because I was a good girl, so I left it in. I would probably change that up too and move my bust dart, but I'm quite happy with it. So that's my this is my piece after I done the FBA and traced it off, okay, because this is my front piece. Size 16, see, I wrote it on one. That's my front piece after I've done the alterations, and just to make it easier on the fabric, I traced it out after I did that. So I did that. This is the sleeve. Okay, now the sleeve also got alterated. Okay, because I have the dippy forward shoulder. I have like a big hollow in here. Okay, and my little ball of my shoulder is forward, and I have that little bit, just a little bit, not much, on my back. So I did a forward shoulder adjustment and also added some little room at the back of my blouse to give me room there, because I always have a habit. Now, I've got to be really, really honest. Not that I was a lazy sewist, but I was a lazy sewist before I kind of got online to you guys, because it should be right, mate. You know, it wasn't that I was a lazy sewist. It was more that I Hi. Sorry, I took that call and I'm glad I did. My friend has just had some sad news. So 1 hour 36 minutes later, I have got off the phone to her. We didn't talk about it for that time. I just could tell that she just needed a conversation with somebody, and we eventually went around all the things we could talk about. Her son is actually 6 days older than my son, so her Jack is, yeah, same age as my Xander. She's got an older daughter, but you know, she's just had some really bad news about somebody she knew. So yeah, just I think, you know, that 10 minutes you give somebody to help them, and I think she just needed to get into a different headspace. So we chatted yeah, about everything, lots of stuffs. Her husband is actually on his way to bring me some apples that they got up at Whanganui. They're called something, can't remember. So he's coming up. So what I was talking about was how lazy I was, or how nonchalant I was about alterations I should do. You know, the whole reason we sew for ourselves. Why I started sewing was because I really wanted to sew. I wanted to know how to sew. And so I don't know if you know my backstory. I learnt to sew when I was in the Air Force in Australia. I did night courses at TAFE for 4 years and got certificates for sewing. So 4 years, 2 nights a week. It was good. So obviously school holidays off, but I was working full time at the same time. But yes, always wanted to sew, and just never had the chance to do that. I did 1 semester at high school sewing, but wasn't a subject I picked. So anyway, so a bit of a lazy sewer. Know the things I should be doing, and now I'm doing them again. So I was saying that I did the roll shoulder thing. I'll just get my back piece. I was actually playing with them while I was talking to John C. So there's my added at the tip here shoulder, and there you'll see I've added for the roundness. So I've added the amount there, just a little bit in my roundness of my back. I'm not too round in my back, just that little bit because of my shoulder coming forward. So I've added the fabric there, and of course what I've put on there, I've taken off the front to work with it. Then I've had to work with I'm over here. I've had to work with my sleeve. I'll actually show you the 2 differences in my sleeve. Okay, the back one is the original. Okay, and you can see there how it's right. So I've moved the cap over to blend up with my this part. Now the reason you add the fabric in the front is because your knobble comes forward. Let's call it a knobble, shall we? So yeah, I'm just trying to get back into the rhythm of what I was talking about. I'm really sorry about that. So it was a nice make. The only reason it took its toll was time factor. It's a very easy make. I like the way the tie sits in here. Now she, when I talk about she's Kat's mother, this lovely lady here, this model, she's got a bow. And yeah, I'm not sure if I want to bow at my neckline, but let's have a go, eh? Let's just... What do we think of that? Hey? I think I preferred it the other way it was. And you know, it's not even that bad sitting there like this. Hey, and I found this pattern, and I started cutting this out last week. But like I said, I had a wedding dress. I went and helped my son move a ton of furniture yesterday. We've got a flat deck truck, so I took it out, and well, it's my dad's, took it out and drove it out there into the city, and it's so cool driving that truck. It's so nice sitting in the seat that my dad used to sit in. Anyway, so and then I saw that Pattern Emporium, yes, Pattern Emporium has got out a new shirt, and it comes with one of these. And it's not the only one that I have seen of recent times. Now, I would never, ever, would I ever buy a pattern with this around the neck. But when I saw this, when I was scouting out, that was Mr. Christopher. When I was scouting out patterns, I looked at this and went, yeah, that's the puppy I'm going to make. So I'm pretty happy I did make that. But yes, easy make. The sleeves, I made the gather deeper than what it was to make the sleeves sit fuller and flatter in here. Otherwise, I wanted to get it all gathered at the head and have a nice little gathered, but I thought no, next time I make it, I'm not in. Yes, I said next time. I'm gonna move my darts, man. I just make me seem droopy. I mean, I don't need help in that department. Okay, 3 kids, man, breastfed, 3 kids, and gravity is real. Just saying, gravity is real. I'll bring it down to this level as I do when I want to show you the things. I just like how that sits. I like how it sits at that level. I don't stop shirts here. I don't. But I'm stopping this shirt here. I really like it. I think it's quite nice. I'm really happy. I actually really like this tie. I will not tie it in a bow. There is no way I'm tying it in a bow. Stacey does not do a bow in between her breasts. No way. No, no, not happening. So that is my blouse for number 2. Like I said, I've been thrown out a little bit, just having that time talking to Johns to air her thoughts. What do you think of it? I'm pretty happy, and I still reckon I'm going to try and make whatever I make, I want it to be. If maybe the second time, but I want to try and stick to, this is the first time I've used this pattern, and I have a truckload of patterns. I have over 1,000. I can add them up actually if I do remember, and I have got some time. I'll call out the numbers to Mr. Christopher, and that's only the filed ones in this area.